best
Be a
episode,
fucking
I feel
dumb
like.
one. Anyway.
Go, Gogs.
Benevitos. Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is June Low or J-Loon or whatever the hell we're calling it. It's all J-Lo movies all the time. We watched Netflix originals Atlas, and well, we're gonna shrug about it because this movie.
Yeah, that's the best way. That's the best way to describe the reaction to this movie. It is just a shrug. This movie,
it's a fart in a rainstorm. It is just.
It is. Well, I thought it would be funny to watch because I will defend my decision because I did laugh at how just banal this movie is. But
really banal.
I felt like, this is I think like it's important to document just how mediocre fucking Netflix movies are. Like this is one of those things. Go ahead.
Some are good.
Bro, they haven't been good in a long time.
Dude, Hustle, well, when did Hustle come out? That was
last
good.
year. Okay.
That was good.
That was fine. But the vast majority are bad.
Apostle?
That was like years ago. That was like 3 or 4 years ago, possibly longer.
I'm going to look up some more Netflix original films and just to prove my point. But you keep talking.
But no, I think as film documentarians like we are, as film history men, that's what I should do. I should just have like movie titles, like of all the movies I've seen tattooed all around me, like the history
I love
men.
it.
Oh, hey, speaking of history men,
hey,
I guess I should have waited to talk about this later, but whatever. So I watched Fury Road again.
Hell yeah.
Because I love Fury Road. It's
pretty good movie.
Legitimately like one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
So you remember the granny, I forget her fucking name now. The old lady that was taking care of the wives.
Yeah.
Granny something or other.
Right.
So she's a history man. That's why she's got all the just like the guy in Furiosa.
Yeah.
I never realized that's what she was.
Yeah.
I guess it never dawned on me.
Yeah, she's got like all of the recorded history literally recorded on her.
Yeah, she's in the nomenclature of the movies, she's a history man.
Yeah, in the language of cinema.
I guess I just never I don't think they ever like address it in Fury Road.
They don't say it explicitly, but it's it's
obviously implied. I think that's one of the best things about both of those movies is that you can tell that like we always shit on George Lucas because he's always like, oh, I planned this the whole time. And it's like, that he didn't. He was just fucking riffing and, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't plan out shit. But like George Miller, you could tell that like everything was planned out. Like, he had everything written down. And like, apparently I was watching an interview with George Miller and they gave the entire crew the script to Furiosa while they filmed Fury Road.
That's insane.
Like, they had the script.
That is insane. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I knew that. Because I remember I heard Charlize Theron was like, we should film Furiosa first.
Yeah, well, he wanted to film them back to back, but couldn't get the funding because Fury Road was such a like disaster production. Like, it took like 10 years to make. But he originally wanted to shoot them like Lord of the Rings style, like back to back, and release them back to back.
I'm telling you, I could just I said that when we left the theater. I could just live I don't want to live in that world, but just give me any story in this world that George Miller has created because it is it is textbook show don't tell, and it is just like you're saying, it's just layers of like just rich, well thought out lore that he's just letting us, but it's almost like a Bethesda game. Like he's just letting us be
That's a good way to put it.
And we don't even have to participate. We're just walking through.
That's why I don't think we talked about it on the show. We might have, I don't remember. Sometimes I get our analog conversations tied up with our show conversations. But I was talking to Sean, he was asking me well, what could George Miller's Justice League have been good? And I think just based sheerly on that aspect that you just pointed out, how he's so good at world building without the stop, look at the camera, and dump like exposition. Like, I think that alone would have been interesting in a comic book like setting, because let's face it, even like the best comic book movies like have a hard time not fucking stopping the movie cold in its tracks to like lore dump. You know what I mean? They all do it to a certain extent. And Miller is such a great storyteller. Like, he never does that. You know, he's very particular about his screen time. You know what I mean? It's that thing we've talked about on the show 1,000 times, the economy of storytelling. Anyway, yeah, so I watched, Fury Road. It's great.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, what did you watch this week, Alex? And keep talking. I'm going to turn my air conditioning on because it's very hot.
Okay, no, I'll just go rip.
I can still hear you.
Oh, you can still hear me, son of a bitch. I was just going to let it all out. Let's see. I watched Dev Patel's Monkey Man. I saw it and I enjoyed it so much that someone came over and I was like, hey, have you seen Monkey Man? And he was like, no, I haven't seen Monkey Man. I was like, well, we're going to run it back and watch Monkey Man. So I watched Monkey Man twice.
I'm glad you liked it. When I saw it in the theater, I think I told you all, I was like, I think you guys will all like this movie.
I can't tell. I don't know if it's going to be, it's fighting for my number one spot in 2024 right now. It's that versus Dune 2. Like, what's funny, right, about Monkey Man, exact same vibes as Boy Kills World. Mm-hmm. Also with Charlotte Copley. But just
Charlotte Copley plays the like shitty like fight promoter in Monkey Man. He does a really good job.
But like Charlotte Copley, where Boy Kills World is really over the top, and they're both hyper violent, right?
Oh yeah.
But Boy Kills World is kind of comic violence almost, more akin to like a Kingsman. This is like more like The Night Comes for Us or The Raid. Yeah. Like, this is Dev Patel's directorial debut. Like, he's fucking great in it. And he directs the hell out of this story. And it's an interesting story. So the first time I watched it, hand to God, I didn't pick up on the fact that the people that took him in were like
trans,
gender fluid, trans, right. And I just figured they were I thought they were just another disillusioned group, because the story is really about the oppression of minorities, regardless of what they are. So there's the oppression of Muslims, there's the oppression of the trans community, the poor, right? It's all about the class system and the revolt against that, under the banner of sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? I almost said demigod, but not demigod.
It's like a religious guru.
Right. Like a cult following of like nationalism and everything. So shocking parallels to
right
modern society. So, but man, I think this movie had got like the action sequences in this movie and some of the one shots, like some of the like one take scenes are up there with some of the best. It's up there with The Raid.
I'm actually surprised it didn't do better.
I don't think movies are doing good. Furiosa's not doing well. Like, movies aren't doing good right now because no one has money.
You know why, right? My new favorite moronic take is that Furiosa isn't doing well because it's a Mad Max movie that doesn't have Mad Max in it. It's like, sir, did you watch Fury Road? Like, Mad Max
Fury Road is a Furiosa story.
Right. Like, are you that fucking stupid?
Mad Max is bearing witness to Furiosa's story in that movie. I mean, it's all about Furiosa in that movie. Like, Mad Max just is along for the ride.
It's yet another moronic take from a bunch of people that have like no media literacy at all. I'm saying media literacy as I can't say the word. That's
fine. You don't have word literacy, but you have media literacy. But
I don't have word literacy at all.
But like I can't like say enough good things about Monkey Man. I didn't know what to think coming into it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking loved it. Loved it both times I watched it. And like, I forget what part of the movie it is. There's one, when he's finally like, Dev Patel beats up a lot of people in this movie, so spoiler alert, right?
Also gets his ass beat too.
Oh my god, yeah. But
yeah, it's a good mix.
Like the scene where he's about to go into the final rampage.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's a fight in an elevator that is one of the most brutal and gruesome things I think I've ever seen on film. Like, I don't want to spoil it for people, but it was the part, you remember the part with the knife?
Oh yeah. Oh
my
absolutely.
god. Like, it's just, and there was parts in this movie where both times I watched it, literally both times I watched it, by myself, I out loud went, ooh.
Yeah, this is like a kick-ass where I really wish I got to see this in the theater with you as you like violently shake during action scenes. Because I mean, there's so many great set pieces in this movie. Like, I don't know. I thought that the action was just done so well. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie a lot. I actually need to watch it again. I haven't watched it since it came out.
I absolutely loved it. Like I said, it might be my number one movie. I got to rewatch Dune 2.
Yeah, we still have. Right now, it's only June.
Right.
It's funny you bring that up because I was on TikTok today, as I do, and like people are already putting out their best of and worst ofs. It's like the year's not even halfway over yet. Like, what are you all doing?
I mean, I know what my bottom one is already though, so that's kind of already in the can.
Yeah, I mean, well, whatever.
But like,
you never know. So just when you think
the bottom couldn't get any lower.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
The other thing I watched, it was a TV show, but I watched all of it. I watched Tires.
The new, what's that guy's name? I like that guy.
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis, yeah. And isn't Stavros in it?
Stavros is in it, and Andrew Schultz is in it. And it's 6 episodes. And it really, your mileage...
I'm kind of hot and cold on Andrew Schultz, but...
Well, he's not in it a lot, if that helps.
I think he's funny. I just don't like he's a guy who I like a lot of his bits. I just don't like his personality. Like when he seems like such a shithead, but I don't know. Maybe that's unfair.
I mean, I like him, but that's fine.
I love Shane Gillis though, and I love Stav. How much is Stav in it?
Stavros is in every episode.
Oh hell yeah!
But like, and some of the show, how much. Your mileage on Tires will depend completely on how much you like Shane Gillis. I like Shane Gillis a lot.
I like Shane Gillis a lot. I think he's really funny.
It's like he is just funny in the way he says things, in his facial expressions. He's got a very comfortable delivery in this show.
I think Stavros. This is the first like scripted thing he's done, as far as I know.
I think so, yeah. And I think he helped create and write it.
I'll have to watch it.
Him and Stavi together on screen sometimes are just fucking hilarious. Like, it's really good. I enjoyed all 6 episodes of it. I hope they continue to make more of it. It had me laughing out. Like,
I like the fact that it's only 6 episodes too. That's nice and neat. Like you're not.
I fucking binged it. Like I started watching it like on a Thursday night. And it was like, I watched the first 4 episodes, and I was like, I gotta go to bed.
Half-hour episodes or hour episodes?
Half-hour episodes.
Oh, that's perfect.
You can clear the whole thing in 3 hours.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And it's fucking laugh out loud funny.
I'll have to check it out. I saved it. I need to watch it.
Really, really good. Or I really enjoyed it. And like I'm saying, if you like Shane Gillis, you will probably like it. If you don't like Shane Gillis, don't watch it.
I'm pretty sure I'll love it. I mean... I wonder if my mom has watched it. She works at a Mr. Tire, so I wonder how
it would get a huge kick out of it.
How it would apply to her lived experience.
Like the guy who plays opposite of Shane Gillis. So the show is all about this. It's a little tire shop in like somewhere in like Valley Forge. So it's in PA. So everyone's got sort of like that PA Philly accent to them,
and we love that.
And it's like basically, it's about the guy. There's this guy whose dad owns a chain of these auto repair shops, and his son runs this one, and it's one of like the worst performing shops. And his cousin is Shane Gillis, and it's this kid. This guy's like 2 months into this, and he's trying to figure out what to do and how to make it profitable. And like, it's called Tires, I think, because the first thing he did was instead of ordering 50 tires, he accidentally ordered 500 and they're just piled all around the shop.
Already
And
funny.
like the guy, him and Shane Gillis playing off each other is hilarious. Like it's really fucking good.
I'm looking forward to watching it now. I'll definitely make a point to watch it.
Strong gogs recommend for tuckers. But anyway, something I can't recommend enough or not enough.
Oh, wait.
What means I don't want you to watch it? No, I want it to be negative.
A movie that you can't recommend. That's it. You can't.
A movie I can't recommend. A movie that I would recommend you never see.
That is a positive. That is something you can't. Yeah. No.
Is the movie we watched, which is Atlas.
Oh, well, I haven't gone.
Oh wait. Oh, I thought you did go. Well, fine.
No, I don't.
We'll get into it. Well, we'll Tarantino it. TJ, what did you watch?
I watched one really great thing and one horrible thing. What do you want to hear about first?
I want to hear the great thing.
And I did kind of go already because I talked about Fury Road, but I mean, we've talked about Fury Road so many times.
Yeah. Right. I'm sorry. I thought that was what you would only think you'd watch. Please.
Oh, also, shout out to Plex because I know that the format's available. The files are just enormous, but I figured it's Fury Road. I might as well. I put a 4K file on the Plex, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. If you watch the Fury Road that's on my Plex, it is a 4K transfer of it. It looks awesome.
Have you, and before you go on to your next thing, I haven't done this. I'm curious if you have and if it matters to you. Have you watched the Shiny and Chrome edition?
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I have like the physical disc of it.
Did it do anything? Did it matter? Is it better in black and white?
No, it's just like Logan. It's just like, it's a fun gimmick, but I'd rather, like, to me, I really felt like the black and white, well, first of all, it's not really black and white. It's literally like black and like this, like, it really is like silver, a shiny, right? It's like a shiny gray variant. But the thing is, and I want to say that we talked about this a million years ago when they announced it. One of the things that I like the most about Fury Road is how colorful it is. Like, the colors are amazing in Fury Road and Furiosa. Like, I think that, like, it's super vibrant and, like, it's weird to suck all that out of it. Like, I feel like it kind of loses something. I don't quite understand George Miller's, like, vision there. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't like it when they did it with Logan either. I know they did it recently with Godzilla -1. Like, I get, that one makes a little bit more sense because it's a callback to the original Godzilla, but, like, just, I don't know, leave things in color. It's fine. You know, like, I don't know. I like color. If it was in
color, big ups color.
Well, if it was already shot in color, just leave it in color, right? Like, I don't know. A lot goes into the production of the colors of a movie, you know.
Remember how big a deal it was when, colorization, like all of a sudden, like,
God, have you ever seen those movies?
Wizard of Oz?
They colorized. It looked like, The Wizard of Oz is different. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole fucking history of film thing, but The Wizard of Oz was done with a lot of money, so it looks cool. Like, I think the colorization in The Wizard of Oz looks kind of amazing. But have you seen, like, the lower budget ones, like when, like, TV networks used to do colorization of black and white movies? Like, it looks unbelievably bad. It looks so bad. Like, it's kind of got its own kind of campy niche to it, but it looks terrible. Anyway. Maybe when you watched it on like a 480p TV in 1986, it didn't look that bad, but it looks real bad. But yeah, I watched two things, Horrible Thing and Great Thing. What do you want to hear about first?
Let's hear about the Horrible Thing now. I changed my mind. I originally wanted Great, now I want Horrible.
Okay, I watched In a Violent Nature, a movie that I was actually like really looking forward to. It looked pretty interesting. It's a Shudder original, and the premise from the trailer was basically it is a Friday the 13th movie, obviously legally distinct. It's not really a Friday the 13th movie, but It is a Friday the 13th movie from Jason's perspective. And
like,
I'm like,
literally like first person, like
that is what, not first, like third person, but that was the premise sold to me by the trailer. And the first thing I thought of was like, well, that's an interesting idea, but like, what are you going to do? That's going to be boring, right? Because Jason doesn't talk. And again, I keep calling him Jason. He is Jason for all intents and purposes, but it's not Jason. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I hear you.
But when I saw the trailer, I was like, well, that is an interesting concept, but what are you going to do to like spice it up? You're going to have to do something because in and of itself, that premise lends itself to about 10 minutes of screen time. Well, unfortunately, one, And I don't know what's going on with filmmakers these days, because I had the same fucking problem with Late Night with the Devil. The movie, like, almost immediately, like, breaks its own rules, and, like, the camera, like, spins around and talks, and you see people talking, and it's like, wait, I thought this was from his perspective. Like, you immediately, like, within, like, 5 minutes, you've, like, already, like, broken. You couldn't fucking last half an hour, with your own stupid premise. Like, it was funny because, I mean, we all know the TJ rule, right? Like, I almost, but I paid, the TJ rule doesn't count if I paid it for a ticket in a movie theater. I, like, never walk out of movies. But anyway, so, like, the killer, like, is resurrected. Somebody steals this, like, pendant that's on, like, this unmarked grave, and he comes back to life, and he's looking for the pendant. That's the plot of the movie.
Okay.
And the first, like, person he comes across, right, is way the fuck off in the distance, right? And again, you gotta remember that this movie is, like, mainly, like, quiet and long shots and a lot of, like, walking, and the director was influenced by, like, slow cinema. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with, like, Gus Van Sant movies, but, like, basically movies that are, like, very heavily atmospheric and slow and kind of light on plot and more on, like, visual spectacle and, you know, relying more on, like, auditory stuff, things like that. So he wanted to make a slow cinema horror movie, which, again, it's an idea, but they don't follow through with it. But I'm rambling. So the first person that the Jason guy encounters is, like, way the fuck off in the distance, right? Like, way the fuck off.
Right.
But you hear him, as the audience, you hear him like he's standing right next to you. And it's like, what is it? Like, the first fucking thing that you come across, you've already fucked up because they didn't get the sound right. Like, it should sound like you could barely hear him. He's like he is hundreds of feet away talking to, like, somebody. And it should be like, again, like, what they're talking about is inconsequential. He's just like a victim that's about to die. But, like, you've already fucked up. You already took me out of the fucking movie. Why can I hear this guy so clearly? Like, it's such, like, I hate to sound like this because but, like, it's such fucking day one filmmaking. Like, how did you not watch this and go, why can I hear the guy? Like, that's not even like a fucking movie nerd thing. It's like a normal person thing. Like, why can I hear him?
It's just defying logic.
Yeah, and anyway, so
and
the
physics.
The rest of the movie is it's just nothing. And then they introduce a bunch of characters, and it's funny now because, like, there are defenders of this movie, and they're like, oh, the acting is intentionally bad. And it's like, okay, cool. So you intentionally made it bad.
That's convenient. Like,
well, they're like, well, you know, acting was bad in, like, old horror movies. It's like, okay, but this isn't. I thought this was, like, your new idea to try to make this, like, elevated or whatever. Anyway, all the actors that are in this movie are unbelievably bad, like, to be original bad. Like, they're so fucking bad. And then they all get, like, brutally killed. But the thing is you have no connection to these characters. You don't know who they are. You don't have any fucking rooting interest in them. You don't. And the other thing is like, okay, so, like, classic, like, horror movie logic, right? If you don't feel sympathy for the victims, then you make them villains, and then you want to be rooting for the killer, right? Like, so you have something as the audience to root for. This movie chooses neither. So, like, they're just kind of there. They get brutally killed, and that's just the whole movie. And it's like, I don't give a fuck. The kills are
kills
like
any good?
I mean, they're super violent, but, like, who gives a shit? Like, I can see, like, super violence in, like, a Mortal Kombat game, and it takes 2 seconds to see. This movie takes an hour and 40 minutes to get through.
Goddamn.
Like, it is. I said this. I made a review on TikTok, but this movie was tedious. Like, this movie was a chore to get through, and I hated it. And then, like, the literal, like, smack in the face over this whole movie is that it ends on this monologue, and you're like, so basically,
is
like,
the killer monologuing?
No, I wish. Basically, what happens is a final girl gets away, and, you know, she gets into this car, and this woman picks her up, and obviously she's, like, shell shocked because all her friends are dead or whatever. And then, of course, like, her, you know, the woman that picks her up finds this reason to, like, pull over, and you're like, okay, when's the killer coming? They're gonna kill him.
Right.
the killer doesn't come. But before all that, before this stupid ass, this whole scene that lasts what seems like half the runtime of the movie, this woman goes on this like diatribe about this bear and this bear that just liked to kill things because it was in its nature, and I'm like, oh my god, like stop this.
Was the killer a bear the whole time?
No.
Oh.
I hated this fucking movie, dude. You know, like, I feel like, no offense, but I'm a little bit more charitable with, like, stuff that's, like, a little artsy and a little slow. Like, I think you would have turned the movie, like, you just turn the movie off. It's because it's so fucking boring. Like, there's just, oh my god. I hated it.
I've hit that point in my film watching career and my music listening career, and to a certain extent my book listening career, where if the hooks aren't into me in, like, the first 15, 20 minutes of the first...
It's the TJ rule. It's the TJ rule.
That's rubbed off on me. Like, I need, like, I'll give you the first 45 seconds of a song. If the first 45 seconds don't have me, skip.
Yep.
Right? If the first chapter of the book doesn't have me, pass. Yeah, I give you 20 minutes for a movie. Like, you better get it fucking going. Like, I don't care if you want to be a slow burn or not, but start with a bang and then walk it back. Do something.
Yep, I totally agree. Anyway, that movie is absolute trash. Don't watch it.
Hated it.
I watched a movie that I really would like you to watch because I think you'd love it because this is totally in your wheelhouse.
Is it about revenge?
No, but it is about crime and Mexican standoffs. And
hell yeah.
It's great. It's called The Last Stop in Yuma County.
Okay.
And it is great. I'm not familiar with this filmmaker at all, but it is like, it feels like a 90s throwback. Like, it is a very, like, Tarantino-y kind of movie. Basically, like, there was this bank robbery, and these two bank robbers, one of whom is the guy that played Joe Chill in the Nolan Batman movies, and he's also the Night King. You know that guy. He was in Doom.
Yeah.
He's great. So they robbed the bank, and then all these other people end up at this gas station / diner that's the last stop in Yuma County. And the reason they're all stuck there is because the gas truck hasn't this movie takes place in the 70s, by the way.
It's a bottle movie.
Yeah, it's a bottle movie. All these people are stuck in this diner waiting on this gas truck to show up, and tensions just boil like it's one of those situations where it's like a ever escalating situation. And it's just great. And they keep ramping up the tension. I don't want to give literally anything away because I thought this movie was wonderful. I really like everybody to watch it. But it's just one of those movies where they just keep on upping the stakes and upping the stakes and upping the stakes. And all the performances are great. And I felt like it didn't overstay its welcome. The pacing is wonderful. It was excellent. I loved it. I thought it was so good. I'm shocked I didn't hear about this movie at all. Like, it doesn't really have anybody in it. It's got this guy, the lead actor. I mean, it's an ensemble movie, but the lead actor is this guy, Jim Cummings, who I really like. He has been in a movie called Thunder Road, which was really good. He directed that, and another movie called what the fuck was it? It's a werewolf movie. But anyway, it's called the werewolf movie is like, I can't remember the title. It's got a kind of clunky title. You might have seen it. Hold on. Anyway, I highly, highly recommend it, dude.
What is it? Is it new? Is it a 2024 film?
It's brand new. It came out this year.
Is it, what'd you watch it on?
The Plex. It's on the Plex.
No, lovely.
You can rent it on Amazon if you don't have my Plex.
Right on.
The other movie that I really like that Jim Cummings in is called The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Okay.
It's like a horror comedy. It's very good. But he directed that. He didn't direct this. He directed Thunder Road too. Thunder Road is also really good. It's another like comedy drama. Like Jim Cummings he's like a really good actor. I'm shocked he's not more famous. Like,
I don't think I'm from. Would I recognize him? Would I like?
No, probably not. Okay. Not unless you've seen those two movies. I'd recommend watching both. I want to say both are on the Plex as well, but he's very good. Gogs, if you don't like this movie, I would be shocked. Like I feel like this is right in your wheelhouse. I
like bottle movies. I like fucking like tense.
And you like
burns.
crime movies.
Love crime.
It's very like reminiscent of like a Reservoir Dogs, and I like it. I tell you, one of the things I can give it the biggest props for is that, again, it takes place in the 70s, but it doesn't like lampshade that fact. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's just what happened. Like, it's
like, probably also like convenient just because then you can not have like cell phones.
Yeah, you always have to write around cell phones, yeah. But it's really good. I can't recommend it enough. Like,
I'll give it a look.
You know, you're talking about like stuff that's going to end up in your end of the year categories. Like, if this doesn't end up in my top 10, I'll be shocked, because I thought it was great. I really, really liked it. And I was, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like nowadays, you know, especially, you know, with us and being on the internet and being movie nerds, like, I feel like you know about every movie before it comes out. To have a movie like this come out of
to be surprised
nowhere,
is nice, right?
And it's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you know, again, I knew, the only reason I even heard about this movie is Red Letter Media talked about it briefly in one of their segments, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, and then I fucking loved it. Again, Last Stop in Yuma County, I highly, highly recommend. A 10 out of 10. I loved it.
I fucking forgot something that I watched, which is not a slight to the film. I've just got other shit on my mind. But you saying werewolf made me think about this. I finally watched Sam Richardson's The Werewolf Within.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
So it's based on the Ubisoft game.
Oh, wait. The Ubisoft game?
Yes.
What the hell Ubisoft game?
The Werewolf Within. It's like a story-driven, like, it's like one of those narrative, like, story. I think it's like Tales from the Borderlands kind of games.
Oh, that's not Ubisoft. You're thinking of shit. They don't exist anymore. The Telltale.
It's like a Telltale game. I swear to God, it said Ubisoft on the front, though.
I mean, they might own it now.
Yeah, it's like a Telltale game, right? But it's it's Lily from the AT&T commercials.
I'm looking at the thing now. So, okay, not to be super confusing, but there was a game called like The Wolf Within or something that was a Telltale game. That is based off of the Fables comic book.
Oh.
This is not. This looks good though.
So yeah, are you talking about the game or are you talking about the movie?
The movie that you're talking about, I'm looking over at the I'm looking over at the wiki. Does the AT&T girl take off her top?
Not all the way, no. Which is a shame, but that's cool.
I know that there was like a discourse that we shouldn't keep talking about how hot she is, but I'm sorry, she's really hot. So
she is. It's not her fault. It's not my fault.
Throw me in jail. Either. Throw me in jail for misogyny. I would never harass the woman, but she's very attractive. Like, I'm sorry.
So it's her, and it's
I love
Sam Richardson, who is Tim. Well, I can't think of his name now. It's from Detroiters.
Tim Detroiters, and he's in. I think you should leave a bunch of.
But why can't I think of his last name?
Who? Tim Robinson? No, Jesus.
Tim Robinson. Yeah.
Also, Glenn Flesher's in it. The guy that's like was the Yellow King, and he's in like a bunch of Coen Brothers movies. Like that, he's in the movie. That's cool.
The movie, it's like a comedy horror movie, and I really enjoyed it. Sam Richardson's just a delight, and I believe her name is Milana Weintraub. I can't.
Yeah, something like that. I can't ever say
I'm butchering her name, but they are great in it together. I really enjoyed it. It's like a fun, like, kind of like lighthearted but gory, like, it's also a bottle movie, actually.
So like kind of like a Raimi movie a little bit, or like funny and violent in the way that like a Edgar Wright movie is.
Yeah. It's not like ultra violent, but it's also like, it's basically like this. It's about this incredibly small town that Sam Richardson's a like forest ranger that gets assigned there, and it's like literally like a town of 12 people, and they managed to get like basically snowed in like his first weekend working there. Meanwhile, the town is being terrorized by a werewolf, and it is it's really good.
It's on Hulu. It looks like
I watched it on Shudder, I think, actually.
Oh shit. All right.
So, Werewolves Within, The Werewolf Within, I think it's Werewolves Within. Also strongly recommend that for people, especially like Sam Richardson. There's something about, he's one of those guys with, I don't care what he says. Just the way he says anything is just naturally likable and funny.
He's just really funny. Yeah.
So, check that out. Anyway, I guess now do we talk about?
Yeah, we really don't. It's what we always say on movies. You can tell we don't want to talk about, where we've literally just like vamped and we're like, oh god, I guess we got to talk about Atlas now.
Yeah, let's just start. Let's start with it's joyless. It's just a joyless.
I mean, it ironically, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because it's the message of the movie is AI is great. Like, it feels AI generated. It feels like,
yes.
It feels like a movie that's just like doing like sci-fi check boxes, right? Like, it's like, it's got Blade Runner. It's got iRobot. It does. And here's the thing that's most insulting. I fucking hate when movies do this, because it's just so, again, it's like day one shit. Day one-ish. It's one of those, they name drop Asimov in the movie. You don't need to do that. Like, you can already, like, god damn, it's so stupid, because it's like, hey, we're basically doing the first rule of robotics and all. But then you fucking name drop Asimov. It's like, oh, god.
Come on. But yeah, like, the movie is, so here's the movie. Right? It is, like TJ said, it is literally every sci-fi movie about AI and robots. It does. I said in our group chat, it ends like Big Hero 6 because it ends like Big Hero 6. So it is the year, I don't know, let's call it 1,000,000. Yeah. And the robots have been not necessarily outlawed, right? But there was an AI robot revolution, and the opening scene is a bunch of robot hunters, basically assaulting and trying to capture, like, basically, what's his name from Blade Runner? Like, not,
Roy Batty?
Oh. Huh?
Roy Batty?
Not Roy Batty. Because Roy Batty is played by Simu Lee. Simu Liu. First of all, Simu Liu deserves better.
Bro, I like him. I like that actor a lot. But like, he's awful in this movie. I know.
I mean, he's supposed to be playing a robot, but like,
he also, like, he doesn't. And maybe this is because I've seen too much of him outside of movies. He seems like too nice of a person. He does not, like, villainous does not work for him at all.
No.
And they try to do that whole, like, villain while smiling, and it just does not work.
Well, he's got, like, a Thanos plot line, and it's just like, okay, anyway. He deserves better. Sterling K. Brown deserves so much better than this.
Yeah.
That guy's putting in work. Anyway, so, robots. They take this robot down, and they take him back to Blade Runner headquarters.
Well, they're basically, the robots have, like, a massacre, right? The AI, like, has, like, a
full-blown revolution.
They, like, decimate humanity.
They killed 3 million people.
Yeah, and then Emu or whatever, like, gets on a spaceship and was like, see
he just goes, fucking, I'm out, and just goes to his home planet. He pulls a Poochie and just returns.
I have to go to my planet now.
He was from outer space. So they capture this guy in a apartment building, and then they wake up Jennifer Lopez from her cat lady trance, even though she doesn't own any cats, and she's, as disheveled. I think are they trying to say that she was 10 when the revolution happened, and this is 28 years later? So they're trying to tell me that 50-something-year-old J-Lo is 38.
Yes.
Nah. So anyway,
this movie does another thing that, like, classically terrible movies do, where Jennifer Lopez has no personality, but she has quirky traits, like she loves coffee. Like she's always like, drinking coffee. It's like, oh, cool.
Like they can't write anything interesting about her, so they just kind of make her like
quirky. Yeah, it's like, oh,
right.
Okay.
You're right. It is like an AI wrote this movie. It's like humans like coffee. So so anywho, she works for the space FBI or whatever as an analyst, and she's kind of a Mary Sue.
Sorry, one other person that deserves better is Mark Strong is in this.
Oh
for
my
some
God!
reason.
Right? Yeah, he does too.
And he's a good guy. He never you see Mark Strong, and I don't know about you, but I was waiting for like the heel turn, and it never happens.
Yeah, no. There's no betrayal. Like everyone the whole time is just blowing J-Lo like from coast to coast. Like it's wild. Like this is such a masturbatory movie for her. Anyway, so they bring this guy, they capture this cat, and then they bring a head in the box, and then she interrogates him with a magnetic chess piece. And you know what? They end up like on a planet with like nothing but like crazy magnetic storms. Yeah. So like, if like a magnetic chess piece is going to erase their brains, like, wouldn't the magnetic storms do that too? But whatever.
Also, like the guy that they capture, you end up finding out later that like, I guess there's just like I guess it's like a model, because then there's like a bunch of that guy that's still around.
He's the T-800, but he's like a hive mind because he has the memories.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
One.
I was like, what? Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Well, I don't think they understood. So anyway, so she wipes this dude's brain, or she like manipulates him or do whatever, because so Simu Liu was the first ever AI terrorist, and he, like I said, he just yeeted himself out into space, but no one knew where in space he went to. So she tricked this guy into thinking about him and then used that to read his brain. And now they know the planet where the space terrorist is. So they're going to send the Space Marines there, and they're going to use a carbon bomb. What's a carbon bomb? Fuck if I know. I don't know if they know what that is.
I forgot another thing that this movie prominently rips off is Titanfall 2. Did you?
Oh my God, yeah, right.
Like the fucking mechs they use look just like the fucking Titans, and it's like it also the Titans in that movie, and that Titanfall 2, one of the best narratives in an action game ever, I think. But remember, the Titans in that game also had an AI and like a personality. So it's like, again, it's another thing they ripped off. It's just like,
right. So she meets Captain Space, played by Sterling K. Brown, and he's like, all right, well, I need to know everything you need to know about the space terrorists. We're going after him. She's like, I demand to go with him, and I hate AIs, and I use pen and paper, and I like coffee, and, right. And Mark Strong's like, send her along, and then
you can't she's like a space Amish, because she won't do like the Neuralink. She's like, oh, I won't do this. This is they're feigning it like character for her, and it's like it just breeds the most like obvious, like, oh, she's gonna fucking embrace AI, and it's like, okay, you see it coming a mile away.
Like you can see it coming a mile away. So anywho, so she talks herself into she talks her way onto the ship, and then the ship's got all these robots, and they have these Neuralink things. The Neuralink things are like hearing aids that let you and the robot have brains together. So all of the Space Marines have like the Penny Parker spider armor, and they're all like best friends on a mental level. And she's like, fuck that. I'm not letting a robot into my brain. But then they show up at this hell planet, and they immediately just get their dicks kicked in. Like just faster than you can say Jiminy Cricket. Like they're just getting the ever-living shit kicked out of them. So she has to hop into one of these robots named Steve, I think, or Bill.
No, isn't or what is the name of the robot?
It's something like that. It's like fucking Jerry, maybe. I honestly don't care. And so she like doesn't give a shit about her own survival so much that she's like, I'm not going to compromise my values by syncing up with this robot. Even though I'm going to fall from outer space into a planet. All right. So she falls from outer space into a planet. She somehow doesn't get turned into soup.
She's fine. Yeah.
And then
also, this movie's so incompetent. Like, getting a galactical bombardment and robots getting shot out of the sky and blowing up. Like, this is the most boring ass action scene. Like, all this cool shit is happening, but like, you couldn't pay me to give a shit about it. Like,
also, and I'm just gonna jump around a little bit.
Yeah,
we're gonna come to this later. Like, whatever version of Lockheed Martin made the battle cruiser that goes into space. Later in the film, it gets taken down by literally a handheld human-sized RPG.
Oh yeah,
shouldn't it be a little more tougher than that? Anyway, so she falls to Earth and is suddenly beset on all sides by robots. She convinces her robot suit. She talks it into setting off its little nuke. And then that creates a sinkhole, and then she's trapped underground, and then you get character exposition where she's like, I used to love robots, and my mom invented space terrorists, and blah blah blah, and shit. But the robots
is this when you find out that it's her fault that the fucking king robot turned into a terrorist?
Right, her mom invented Simu Liu, and they used to play chess all the time and be dogs, and then one day she doesn't want to befriend her space armor because she's not going to let anyone, she's never going to get close to a robot again. Because the last time she got close to a robot, 3 million humans died because the robot read her brain and figured out that humans are going to destroy the planet. And so it didn't go fucking Thanos so much as it went Ultron and was like, well, humans got to go. And so that's sort of his whole bit. And then she's like, this guy loves chess. So he's come up with, there's a reason this is all happening. He's the puppet master. And so he tricked me into being here and getting the ship here. So then he captured the ship. So he gets the soup, the nuclear bomb. And then he's got the brain codes to get past the air shield to nuke Druidia. And oh no, I did it again. I ruined humanity again. So then she gets over herself. And much like the movie Unstoppable, her and the robot, her Denzel Washington to the robot's Chris Pine, form a begrudging respect for each other, and they decide to take on all the terrorists together. And now here's what's wild: she doesn't have one. I don't think she's had 30 seconds of combat training.
No,
and
they explicitly go out of their way to tell you that. And she's not a soldier. She's an
entire squad of people whose, they are W-2 employees and their 40 hours a week is just learning how to kick ass, got mopped by these people.
In 4 seconds.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
And so she fights, she gets captured, sort of, but then she used the power of friendship to revive the robot, and Sterling K. Brown is bleeding out on an operating table. And there's a scene where his eyes bulge out, and it's gross.
Oh, you know what he looked like? You know the Simpsons where they steal the grease, and there's that one part where Homer gets the hose stuck, and he turns around, and Homer's like, "What's the matter?" And his eyes popping out.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. Yeah.
So anywho, so then her and Sterling K. Brown, this pissed me clean off. At some point they're fighting their way through the barracks of the robot fortress, right? And she is just a single untrained soldier in an unarmed robot husk. Right. It's using a pipe and an axe, and it's fucking dudes up, and then it's picking up their human-sized guns and shooting them. But at some point, Sterling K. Brown shows up for his swan song, and he fires a mammoth rocket launcher at a pile of fuel. But that pile of fuel is, and I quote, liquid thermite.
Right.
And what the fuck? Thermite is used to like burn through. It's like a chemical reaction, like with like rust, and I forget what aluminum, and it's used to like saw through iron. Like liquid thermite that's what we're landing on here for a fuel. Anyway, it blows everybody to Kingdom Come. She shoots this warship, a fucking interstellar warship, out of the sky with an RPG, and then her and Simu Liu have a fucking one-on-one.
This interstellar warship would literally have to, if nothing else, it has to withstand the harsh vacuum of space.
Like one meteorite. Like one just loose space rock.
This is as stupid. This is as stupid as that scene in Rebel Moon where Cyborg was going to like he did break the cockpit of that ship with a sword, and it's like, what? How would that work? Or was it lance?
So anywho, so then she fights Simu Liu in like,
oh my god, this battle is so bad.
And Ivy's sword from Soul Calibur shows up.
Oh, but Simu Liu has his sword comes out the middle of his hand,
like in between his fingers.
It's so goofy. Dumb. Like, why not just make his whole hand like the T-1000?
Sword.
Like, why did you make it so like his two fingers on the outside are still there? It just looks really dumb.
Also, why does he need to use a fucking like edged weapon? Just like
yeah.
Just use like this. We're in space. There's ion bombs, whatever the hell that means. Just like get out of here with your ass. So anywho, so she beats Simu Liu because of course she does because she's J-Lo, but in doing so, her best friend Robot Armor uses the last bit of its power to turn battery energy into oxygen so she can make it to the crash zone, and then Mark Strong shows up with the rest of the Space Marines. And then that's it. There's no more space terrorism, so I guess they can just dissolve that entire agency. Because, like, what are they going to do now?
What do they do now? Yeah.
But instead of that, he brings her a plant that they recovered from the armor because she named a plant Planty, because of course she did.
Yeah, Planty.
And then he's like, "You're the best there ever was." And she's like, "I know."
She collected all of the war medal, or the dog tags of all the fallen.
Of all the worst trained soldiers that got their dicks handed to them. So anyway.
Yeah, where's future Space Trump? He's like, I like soldiers that win.
Yeah, my heroes didn't get captured. So anyway, so she comes back, and now she's like, I guess that's like, so now she's she got a field commission to be like a full-blown captain, so now she's in charge of the Space Marines.
Right.
And they give her new armor, and of course her armor has like the brains of Steve.
Yeah. Again, because this movie can't even have that little bit of emotional stakes where the robot dies. Like, no, it's fine.
They literally Big Hero 6'd it. The robot sacrificed itself so that she could live, and then its personality chip was able to be reinstalled in a new robot. And that's it. And that's Atlas.
It's so toothless, right? Like, it's just like, you can't even, like, one little emotional beat, and it's just like, nah, you're fine.
Like, literally it's not even interesting. Like, the best part of the movie was when Simu Liu took over her mom's brain and made her blow her brains out. Like, I was like,
I'm glad you brought that scene up.
And so she did one of those Chiappa, like,
what the fuck was that
revolvers.
Gun? That gun looks so that's a real gun?
Yes.
Oh my god, that gun looks ridiculous.
Because here's the thing. It is like the good people at Chiappa, which is like an Italian gun manufacturer.
Chiappa?
Chiappa, I believe. They had the thought of, let's just make a revolver that will be in every movie about the future. And they just
I've definitely seen these guns before, yeah.
They put the barrel, instead of the barrel being at the top of the revolver cylinder, it's at the bottom of the revolver cylinder, and it just makes it it looks nuts, and they're very expensive, but Hollywood loves them.
They look it looks goofy.
Yeah. So anywho, they say that it helps with recoil, but I don't care.
This one's kind of cool. This little like revolver, a Chiappa Rhino 6-shot. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It looks very cyberpunk. It looks like a gun you get in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and that's what they're going for. That's why they keep showing up in these movies.
Now I want one.
Yeah, I mean, go get yourself one. You've earned it. You're an American.
How much
Celebrate yourself.
Anyway, yeah.
So that's it. That's the movie. It's just like it is literally them just throwing every idea against the wall. Like anything remotely popular in the sci-fi space, it's them just sort of saying, well, let's just sprinkle a little of that in there.
And it's not even like in the contemporary space. It's like any sci-fi idea that's been popular
like in ever
totality. Yeah,
and it's just dog shit. So, good job, Netflix. You did it.
Yeah, this is awful.
And J-Lo is just, I can't stand her.
This month is going to be rough. She is an awful actress. Like, she has no charisma in this movie or screen presence, like, whatsoever.
She seems like she took no notes. Like,
well, and it's like, I mean, it's one of those movies where I feel like everybody's on set just doesn't want to be there. Like, no one seems to have any chemistry. Everyone just seems to be like, you know, doing like punch out work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Give me the fuck
I don't know.
I
feel like Sterling K. Brown was trying.
I mean, he's trying.
But I don't think he can.
I feel like you can
help it. Like, I think he just always tries.
I feel like you can even tell with his performance. He's like, "Are we done yet? Like, I just want to go home." Like,
yeah.
Anyway, 5 knuckle shuffle time.
What do you want to?
Is it getting a 5 or is it getting a 0? Yeah. Let's do. Did Alec didn't?
Alec did not watch it. Alec, like, he avoided it.
Lucky man.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Sean did though, right?
Sean did. I like Sean. You should read what Sean said.
Sean said, Atlas, I guess he means is. Atlas is the CC pizza of sci-fi ideas. There's a lot of them, but none of them are any good. 3 out of 10.
Yep.
Never been to CC's Pizza.
CC's Pizza Buffet.
Never been.
I have no reason to go.
I mean, I you know, a pizza buffet seems kind of
like
ridiculous.
How much pizza do you need?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
It's like when IHOP used to do like endless pancakes. It's like after like a short stack, I'm good.
Oh, I went to in college. I went to IHOP for endless pancakes, and I was like, we're going to put this place out of business. Yeah, and I made it through a stack and a half, and I was like, I am fucking dying. Yeah, like it was like I ate a pile of sand. Like I think I took a nap for the rest of the day.
There's this TikTok account that I follow where this girl literally goes to all you can eats and sees how long she can stay there before they kick her out. And she stays there for like 8 hours, but she eats the entire time. And it's like, how do you do that? I don't even know. Anyway.
Does that look like a man who's had all he could eat?
It's a very classic Simpsons episode.
What'd you do when they ran out of fish? You went fishing.
That's a great joke. The Frying Dutchman.
The Frying Dutchman, Captain McAllister.
Oh, love it. 5 knuckle shuffle time.
I heard they shaved a gorilla. I'm gonna end. Like, it's a 2, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a 0. Like, it's like, you're right. It's like, I'm not mad that it exists. I'm mad that I watched it. It's just like, it's so just ugh. But it's not good. Like, it doesn't deserve a 5 even. Like, it's just
no.
It's just such a waste of everything. Like, it does nothing well. It does nothing, there's nothing remarkable about it. Any remotely clever idea in the movie has been done better in some other form of media. J-Lo just seems insufferable through it as a character, and I can only imagine what she's like as an actress. I bet she's just like the worst.
She's notoriously like really hard to work with, and I
gotta imagine,
not generally liked.
But I can't figure out why. Like, I was starting to figure, what is she trading on nowadays? Like, her music's not good. She's not a good actress.
She's still kind of hot. I mean,
no, she's not.
Really? Oh, I think
no. We're in a post Sydney Sweeney universe. Like, what is she bringing to the table?
I mean, fair. I don't know. She's all right.
So,
I mean,
like,
yeah, I mean, she's not like, you know, she's
even my
nothing
like objective misogyny can't salvage this. So, like, no, like, she doesn't deserve. End of statement. So, this month's gonna suck, TJ.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Whose idea was this? So yeah, it's me. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a 1. I was gonna give it a 2, but then I was like, why am I giving it a 2? Like, there's nothing, like, every single aspect of this movie is generic and boring. Like, anything you pick apart. The robots, like the mech suits that they use, look like other things you've seen before. Like, the fucking plot is like 700 things you've seen before. The fucking, like, special effects are nothing to write home about. It's not like, there's nothing unique that sticks out about this movie. There's nothing memorable about this movie. And it's just like, it's just that, it literally is just content. This is a movie that your aunt puts on while she's like cooking dinner and she's got like the iPad on or something. You know what I mean? This is the movie that people watch while they fold laundry. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a movie that you actively watch. Like, this is, and it's kind of the problem with like Netflix, right? Because like when you listen to like how their CEO, the one CEO talks about, you know, their output, this is the kind of stuff that he wants to make because he doesn't give a shit. They don't care about quality. They're just putting shit out there because they don't look at it like it's like some prestige thing. They're just like, well, this will eat up some time.
Right. This will get like this will get, if it gets 2 million views, that's a win.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, this was when I watched this on Netflix earlier this week or over the weekend, it said it was the top movie.
Yeah.
Top movie on Netflix. So, you know, what does that mean? We've talked about this 1,000 times. How that generates revenue, I still have no concept of how that works.
And let's be
no one is buying a Netflix subscription for Atlas.
Let's be completely fair here, right? Or honest with ourselves, right?
Of course.
Netflix is telling us it's the top movie, right? But are the metrics there to even support it?
I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, of course. Because they do not put out their numbers. So.
Right. So all they got to do is just say, look, this is our new movie.
That's fair.
Put it on the front screen of everybodybody's thing and tell everyone it's the top thing.
But I wouldn't doubt it is. That's the thing, though. I don't know why. You're right.
No, I don't doubt that it ends up being the top thing. But I postulate that it's not, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, they put it on the front page of enough people's things saying...
I mean, we've talked about this at length with Netflix, but Netflix, like, if something's more than a week old, they fucking bury it, and you can't find it. You know what I mean? So
never again.
It's going to be the top thing just because it's, like, the first thing that you see, and a lot of people, you know, people that aren't fucking movie nerds, like, they're like, I just want to watch something. You know what I mean? Like, just put something on. I mean, this is to quote my mom, this is a movie that you don't need to pay attention to. So this, you know what I mean? Like, this is perfect.
No, it's like it's a normie movie. It's a normie sci-fi movie. Like,
this is the most normie sci-fi movie in existence possible.
Like, finance bros are probably cooing about Atlas.
Cooing.
Like, if you've never seen a better sci-fi movie, it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. This is somebody's first movie. They might really like it because they're like, man, this is really neat. These are really neat ideas.
Robots and explosions in it. Hell yeah. It's got Jenny from the Block.
I guess it's your pick for next week since you're the only one here. Hi, Liz.
Okay.
Tell your wife I said hi.
Yeah, she's told me there's a tornado warning, so we're going to wrap this up.
I saw that.
So I'm going to pick...
I saw that half an hour ago. I should have said something.
That's fine. I haven't thought of it yet, so I'll just text the group. It'll be a surprise. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that to myself. Is it called Enough? What's the one where she's like...
The MMA fighter movie?
Back against her... No.
Isn't that the MMA fighter movie?
Hold on. It's called... What's the one where she's got to be like... Yeah, it's called Enough.
Okay. Enough next week.
Enough. Working class waitress finds her life transformation, marries a wealthy contractor, And I think
Oh, this movie, and then she gets like martial arts training to fight back. Yeah, hell yeah.
No.
That movie is an hour and 55 minutes long. How is that movie almost 2 hours long?
I don't know.
It's on Netflix too, so there you go.
There we go.
Oh, you know what? They probably, Netflix
they probably packaged the deal together, right? Like they made a movie with their.
Well, like a lot of times when they put their whole filmography on there to help promote. All right, that's it. We'll see you next week with enough. Something tells me we're gonna have enough of this month after next week.
Hey,
all right, everybody. Stay safe. Look out for the tornado.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye. Well, just Guy. It's just Guy. Bye, Guy.
Bye, guys.
See you.